Hi everyone, how you doing? I'm back. We're gonna do a quick law vid, just going back to basics with you can tell by the title. We're gonna go into what the Bill of Rights is so close to. Of course, the Ten Commandments. That should be the basis of all our study. No matter which direction you go in, it all started there. Okay, and definitely if you want to protest or peacefully protest like we try to do here, make sure you get your tea. This is not going to be a long one like yesterday. I'm way too busy today. But we want to peacefully protest. That's why we do it. Our sword is the pen, until it's time for the sword, right? And so we want to go into some of that. But before we get into that, just yesterday, so funny. I guess I lost a subscriber on BitChute. Hey, BitChute. It's all good. It's like BitChute. I don't know. It's just like one of those, crazy type of portals over there. I don't know who I'm gonna get. I don't see any of the messages. Like, it's not like YouTube where you get a notification and it comes on your phone. You can never tell. So maybe some people think whatever. They probably thought my expose on my cousin yesterday was just too controversial. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to use your own family as a case study. Can't always just use celebrities and those fake puppets in the media. I got topics on that too, guys. Get me started, the stuff I was looking into, but 'tis another time for another video. We want to keep these condensed with the topics because this is my own forum as well for studying. So, like they say, c'est la vie, mon chéri. Because not worried about it because you can't win them all, right? Win some, you lose some. But because that was a case study in itself. I mean, that was traumatizing for me to watch, actually. I watched it again. I was just like, the stuff that was being said, because they went into the part where, like, oh, what happened with Job? It's just fear. It's fear holding you back. They almost sounding like Tony Robinson and all of those motivational speakers that just come on, and it's like, the fear is holding you back. Like, a healthy level of fear is good because if you don't look both ways when you go outside, you can get hit. And don't mind if I'm always looking over there, I'm worse than a dog. It's because I live on a busy street. Watch when you guys have your children or teenagers. I'm always on high alert, and rightly so, because I would have got rammed over even more with these little critters, the way they gave me hell. But yeah, so any little noise, I'm like this, like a dog. You see it? Because I screen sometimes my own vids just to see how it flows, because I want it to flow naturally. You see how, I can see how people are nervous. You'll see some of my old vids and it's so rough. Like, it's funny how I'm trying to, like, find my way and how to talk. Like, sometimes you write notes, because you'll forget. Like, because I'll think about something yesterday, like at night. I'm not going to, like, do a vid, like, right at that moment. And I'll be like, oh, this could relate to what's going on, stuff like that. So it's actually, a healthy level of fear will keep us in line. And even in some of these Christian churches, I mean, they do reference the Ten Commandments. So if we just, like, start there, right? Look at it as a contract between you and the Most High. And it's all reasonable. He's a reasonable judge. He's a reasonable arbiter. He's a reasonable king. So we should have a healthy fear of him. Look at all he made in the world, Look how just by your thoughts you can move your arms and legs. Doesn't that trip you out if you, like, sit back and I guess depends, your mood that day. It can really trip you out, So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs, I like my Proverbs, my Psalms. I do like the book of the prophets. I'm going to show you a little bit of Jubilees too, because I had to dig for that source too, guys. They don't want us knowing nothing. just to show the kind of stuff I started with was like holistic, medicine, orthomolecular medicine, hence my shirt, right? Even the Greeks were, hip at one point. Let thy food be thy medicine. We got away from that. A lot of people are getting sick. And through going on my journey, I share like anecdotal stories as a case study, but I know how far to go. Sometimes us women will be in our feelings, but it's good just to share a little to show like how it relates to life and like, oh, who are you sitting in your room talking about this stuff? Like, how can I relate to you? You know what I mean? Because as an elder, you've been through so much, and a lot of people like to hear. I mean, I'm all about truth. I mean, you see my stuff, I give you substance. I give you a little bit of antidote. That's what you want. In these Christian churches, what do? It's all about the testimony. That was another thing. Here to do testimonies. It's Miracle Monday. It's like it's like a what is it? An AA meeting. It turns into just your personal experience. It becomes more subjective and less objective. So that was the that was the clash, right, of the so-called Titans there. It was like, raw, like we were. So, like I say things, I try to say it in parables and metaphor, like you get it, sometimes, and sometimes you gotta get things off your chest, you don't gotta be all rah, but I do know, like, some people who say, like, every little thing, I've seen it all, right, and you're all sitting there like, man, they really brought this camera, they really thought to do a video when they were getting a medical procedure, and they're looking all effed up, like, with medication, like, what, why'd you... I wouldn't do all that. Have, juiz na cabeça, as they say, right? When you're growing up around Portuguese people, they like have juiz na cabeça. If you were raised that way, you know what I meant. So they need to hold this fast to their heart, because that's why people are bugged out. Bugged out. We need to get back to this, because we're going to talk a little bit about the Bill of Rights. I'm just going to read, and just, when you get into the law stuff, which, I'll get into the little fine-tuning of it. Oh, I left my freaking book in the other room. It's okay. I'll do another one. I don't want to pause. I'm not good with that stuff. What, you pause? I never did that before. When I do my vids, this is really just freestyle. I'm rapping with you. I'm just rapping. I'll bring it into the next video because I can get up, go get the book, whatever. Because it's like a common law book. Has interesting stuff in there too. But I can actually just do like a little clip reading from it. Because at least you can see the book too. It's hard to put stuff up on the screen because this recorder is a little trippy. So that's why I'll put stuff up and then I'll put the links because you can see. Make it easy. But the 10 Commandments, let's go through them. What does it say? I have, of course, Exodus chapter 20 up. And like I said, if you just have a Bible, you're good. Because a lot of stuff you can get online. I like having my hard copy. Nothing like a hard copy, right? It's just really nothing like it, right? You're in bed, you're reading it, you take your little notes, go run over. It's easy to make bookmarks too. You just get some card stock or whatever. I just cut them little slips. There you go. Voila, as they say. Voila. King James usually works for me. So you'll find the Most High's law, which that's the foundation. And everything else, because you notice the Bill of Rights is 10, 10 Commandments is 10, right? So thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not. I'll get everything up front for you. No worries, no worries. I gotta make this quick, just because I am really busy, just living life too, and keeping it all together. The women, don't sell yourself short. We are the glue. Even if it's just you and your spouse, So right here, let me bring it up. Because I watch videos on my phone sometimes too. And I like to be able to see. So I do like this little feature. It's pretty wild. Hey, it says 175. What's your problem? It's that kind of weak, guys. You see? It's acting stupid. Let me just read it to you. The first one, thou shalt have no other gods before me. 2, thou shalt not worship any graven image. 3, Thou shalt not take God's name in vain. 4. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. 5. Honor thy father and thy mother. 6. Thou shalt not kill. 7. Thou shalt not commit adultery. 8. Thou shalt not steal. 9. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. Don't lie. This whole system, right? We're dealing with so much of that. Don't steal. Honor thy mother and father. We really, really need to remember that stuff, because I had the laws open, because when you go into, everyone should know, of course, Cornell Law School is a great reference, because you can look up the codes, you can look up definitions of what they mean about the subject matter, right? Just like people in these churches, it's all about what they think the law says, not what the law actually says. And that goes for these agents too, because I don't mind them even screening if it's a government agent, whoever, because everything we're doing is honorable and lawful. And we need to have this nation, at least rectify a lot of the damage, because, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil, they say, is that good men do nothing. I think that's from Edmund Burke. Yes, it is. I have a little card and stuff. I have little quotes sometimes that I print out, and I'll have just laying around and stuff, because it's just good to remind yourself, just sitting back doing nothing. So it is good, a lot of us, even if you're not doing too well, like last year I was doing a little better, so I used to donate more and do things like that. So when I get right again, I'll do that to whoever. But when you even don't have much, you have your energy. We were born with just our energy. I listened to a fabulous podcast where this guy was going through a paradigm shift. He was very young too. He was very, very mature. Knew all about how they're just extracting our energy, and we're going from a shift of clocking in, clocking out like computers, because we're living sentient spiritual beings, to, because everything's through our trust, and I know there's no so-called trust in America anymore, but with anybody who knows any type of law, well, you know that everything is so-called prepaid. What's up with the social security number. We'll delve into the history of what happened, and private international law, admiralty law, common law. There's so many types of laws. Even most people, hey, you don't even realize what jurisdiction, you don't even qualify what they're talking about, some of these agents. And a lot of these agents too, they just blindly do what they do, and they're not being honorable. Sometimes they know, sometimes they don't know, but that doesn't mean, what did they say? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Where do you think they got that from? I'm pretty sure the Most High, right? So we want a firm understanding, who is your God? Do you have a God? Do you care? Because if you're atheist, and you wouldn't be listening to me long probably, because I talk about the Most High too much, but that's fine. But they're going to be hanging out to dry, because they don't have a defense. You know how the Most High says in the Bible, he's a refuge and a defense? Really, he is, literally, because when we use some of these laws to tell them, hey, I don't want to fund your satanic admiralty law system. I don't want to fund your marine kingdom, okay? I want to use the funds in my estate to align myself with my brothers and sisters in the Most High, and we can have our own communities. We could be neighbors. Everyone can have their little plots, have the space needed between each other, have the resources needed. We'd be the ones to heal the land and actually be respectful about it, And so there's just so much good we can do, and we know what they're, what do they do with it, right? Horrific things. So Cornell Law School, really great reference. A lot of you know. And we just want to stand on this too, right? They can't, just like with the 10 Commandments, you got the 10 Bill of Rights. How fitting, how similar, right? It's definitely inspired by the Most High's 10 Commandments, okay? There's just so much, right? And you have a right to worship the Most High in the dictates of your good conscience. Okay? You can't do anything against the dictates of your conscience. So if it's pagan institution, or if it's more of a temple, what they deem a courthouse, or any of these places, even hospitals, right? All of these things. And expect you to fund it. You just let them know. You're not part of their jurisdiction, you know? So there are things that, I mean, this is just a basic little something because I don't have a video like this up, but I'm like, let me just go back because you always want to go back to basics. So the First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, and the right to petition. It forbids Congress from both promoting one religion over others and also restricting an individual's religious practices. It guarantees freedom of expression by prohibiting Congress from restricting the press or the rights of individuals to speak freely. It also guarantees the right of citizens to assemble peacefully and to petition their government. Amendment 1. Can I bring it up more for you? It's on work today. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. You got the Establishment Clause. You got some references. Lee versus Wiseman, 1992. Van Orden versus Perry case law, 2005. State action requirement. Slander. Because a lot of this is going on with us too. Fighting words, what they're doing. Wow, we could go into each one. You see how important knowing the law is, because people think they're so law-abiding. No, this is a nation of lawlessness. Lawlessness, okay? But we all know that the Bill of Rights, there's 10 Bill of Rights, right? You know? Bill of Rights 1 through 10. And everybody knows it's based on the 10 Commandments. You got people looking it up. I was looking that up too. So you want like 1 through 10 because that's where these stick out, because when you go into the U.S. Constitution, you know, just to make it easier for you, do they have an actual governmental, this says governmentandconstitution.org. Right here, does it say a little, does it give us a little something something? George Washington was the first American president who served in office. We know that. One of the, well, that's what they say. I have a video. There was another character too. Neither here nor there. But the Bill of Rights, which consisted of the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Amendments 1 through 10 were ratified in 1791. The first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution are also known as the U.S. Bill of Rights. An amendment is a change or addition to the U.S. Constitution. The first 10 amendments to the Bill of Rights were ratified in 1791. The U.S. Constitution, blah, blah, blah. So 1 through 10, just to let you know, okay? And so that's a important one because that's a fundamental. But again, if you don't have the biblical, because they can tell if, you know, you have it in you or not, or if you're just full of caca, you know what I mean? They're not as dumb as you think. Because I was put on to this little number. Let's see, I know we don't have much time today. I had a slow start this morning. I like this thumbnail too. Maybe I'll use that one. I like that one. I'll probably use this one. Alright, so we have the Department of Justice. Justice! Lady Justice! Remember we were talking about that? Just because a lot of this stuff come up, and just to show that it is a pagan system, another clue, you know? Another clue, Scooby-Doo. Always. Because we're just like private detectives for the Most High over here. So the Department of Justice. So their motto is Qui pro dominia justitia sequitur, as well as an explanation. Does it even say on here? Because I know when I didn't read it from here exactly, but they serve. Oh yeah, it gets really juicy over here. Those who serve or go after in the name of Lady Justice. Justice. Just think of that, right? So, let's go into the meat and potatoes because they're like blah, blah. Okay, this was adopted. You can go right into their website. This is the Department of Justice website. Says, let's see. On the seal, too, it had 13 pieces, ardent and gules, Gules, a chief azure. I heard this name before. Is this a sword? Azure. I think that's the sword I use for my Alpha 7, because I use like a sword with the blue flame, because you're seeing what blue flames and red flame. I could have sworn I saw that. It just could be overthinking. An eagle rising, this is their seal, and standing on the middle of the shield, holding in his dexter talon an olive branch consisting of 13 leaves and berries, and in his sinister talon 13 arrows, all proper. And then you got the motto, Department of Justice, and 3 mullets, all contained within a corded edge. When the device is rendered in colors, the background of the seal to be buff, the shield, eagle, olive branch, and arrows, as described above, with the motto and annulet in blue, and the name of the department, mullets, edges in annulet, and corded edges in gold. And it says, too, that the first of these phrases is believed to have been quoted by Burleigh from a Latin form then in use. All judicial proceedings were at that time required to be recorded in Latin in making up the record of actions brought by the Attorney General on behalf of the Crown. It is translated who the Attorney General sues for or on behalf of Our Lady the Queen. Secor is employed in the same sense, that is to say, to sue or bring suit, in the Statute of Westminster 2, Chapter 18. The matter is very simple indeed. The pro goes with the noun and the verb. The motto is taken from the commencement of a pleading in a proceeding by the Attorney General at common law. Until the reign of George II, all pleadings were in Latin. The Attorney General began, "Now comes so-and-so, Attorney General who prosecutes on behalf of our Lord the King." In the reign of Elizabeth, of course, this would have been who prosecutes on behalf of Our Lady the Queen. Dominia Justitia, Our Lady Justice, was substituted for Our Lady the Queen, or Our Lord the King. In other words, the seal asserts that the Attorney General prosecutes on behalf of justice. This would seem a very appropriate motto for the Federal Department of Justice. It says there's another curious thing. The Lord Treasurer introduced Coke. Does that mean Coke for the soda, probably? As Attorney General to Queen Elizabeth, he said in Latin, "Here is your Attorney General, qui pro domina regina sequitur," that is, who prosecutes for Our Lady the Queen. Elizabeth, who was an excellent scholar, answered, "It should be Attorney General who prosecutes for Our Lady the Truth." I should read a little bit of the book of the Apocrypha sometimes. Who prosecutes on behalf of justice, or the personification, may be the slizzy Queen of England or whoever, right? This is from the United States Department of Justice. So this is pretty wild stuff, definitely look into that on your own. Just to show a couple of things, we had Lady Justice up, because this is a pagan lore. You can go into the Roman too. The Lady Justice. I don't know if you've seen this picture before. The scale and the blindfold as well. But there's many different personifications, and what's funny that in the Greek translation, or because Rome, they have the pantheon, and it was derived from the Greek Parthenon with an R. Of course, they bit everything from the Greeks, right? And it comes from the Greek dyke. That's a whole other one, dyke. Guess where her island is? Lesbos in Greece. So yeah, we're not supporting no pagan lesbo fallen entity or queen or whatever. Oh my, right? Oh my. The origin of Lady Justice was Justitia, the goddess of justice within Roman mythology. Justitia was introduced by Emperor Augustus and was thus not a very old deity in the Roman pantheon. Justice was one of the virtues celebrated by Emperor Augustus in his Clypeus Virtuous. That's a crazy picture, huh? Got the horns there. That guy's face. And a temple of Lastucia was established by Rome by Emperor Tiberius. Astucia became a symbol for the virtue of justice, with which every emperor wished to associate his regimen. Emperor Vespasian minted coins with the image of the goddess seated on a throne called Astucia Augusta, and many emperors often after him used the image of the goddess to proclaim themselves as protectors of justice. Look, it even comes up in the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, depicts a scene in which a deceased person's heart, wow, isn't that funny how all this stuff comes together, is weighed against the feather of truth. I think this is the picture I was trying to find. I'm going to have to take a screenshot. Too funny. Because I said something like that. Yeah, eat your heart out. Never heard that term. But we're all on similar frequencies, I can't take credit. Nobody is taking credit. Not one of us, right? Because the Most High is doing this. They're talking about a paradigm shift. I mean, you got a lot of great intellectual people out there. But unless you're giving the Most High all the glory, He's our King, right? He's our Savior. And let me just show you quick, because I don't know how much time I have, because I'm going to put this reference for you guys, because it's not easy to find this particular source, because there's a lot of Book of Jubilees, but they don't use this particular word, like the translation that you want. It's in Sephardi.org, www.sepharia, SEFARIA.org / Book of Jubilees. Because in chapter 10, great book. Great book. And in the third week of this Jubilee, the unclean demons began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah, and to make to air and destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah their father, and they told him concerning the demons, which were leading astray and blinding and slaying his sons' sons. And he prayed before the Lord his God, and said, God of the spirits of all flesh, who has shown mercy unto me, and has saved me and my sons from the waters of the flood, and has not caused me to perish as thou didst the sons of perdition. For thy grace has been great towards me, and great has been thy mercy to my soul. Let thy grace be lifted up upon my sons. But do thou bless me and my sons, that we may increase and multiply and replenish the earth. And thou knowest how thy watchers, the fathers of these spirits, acted in my day. And as for these spirits which are living, imprison them and hold them fast in the place of condemnation, and let them not bring destruction on the sons of thy servant, my God. For these are malignant and created to destroy. Just think of malignant tumors too, and how we try to use holistic means to heal that. And let them not rule over the spirits of the living, for thou alone can exercise dominion over them. And let them not have power over the sons of the righteous from henceforth and forevermore. And the Lord our God bade us to bind all. And the chief of the spirits, Mastema, came and said, that's another medical term, metastasize, when they say the cancer is spreading. Lord Creator, let some of them remain before me, and let them hearken to my voice, and do all that I shall say unto them. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men. For these are for corruption and leading astray before my judgment, for great is the wickedness of the sons of men. And he said, let the 10th part of them remain before him, and let 9 parts descend into the place of condemnation. And one of us he commanded that we should teach Noah all their medicines, for he knew that they would not walk in uprightness, nor strive in righteousness. And we did according to all his words. All the malignant evil ones we bound in the place of condemnation, and a 10th part of them we left, that they might be subject before Satan on the earth. And we explained to Noah all the medicines of their diseases, together with their seductions, how he might heal them with the herbs of the earth. So all you need is that right there. And Noah wrote down all things in a book, as we instructed him concerning every kind of medicine. How many herbal books out there too, right? Thus the evil spirits were precluded from hurting the sons of men, or sons of Noah, sons of Noah. And he gave all that he had written to Shem, his eldest son, for he loved him exceedingly above all his sons. And Noah slept with his fathers, and was buried on Mount Lubah in the land of Ararat. 950 years he completed in his life, 19 Jubilees, and 2 weeks, and 5 years. In his life on earth he excelled the children of men, save Enoch, because of the righteousness wherein he was perfect. For Enoch's office was ordained for a testimony to the generation of the world, so that he should recount all the deeds of generation unto generation, till the day of judgment. Heavy hitting book, guys. And it's great how it confirms, it correlates with Enoch. So that's why these Christian churches are out to lunch. because you show them how these are all connected, these books, like a beautiful puzzle. It makes it so fun. It's like that movie, The Never-Ending Story, right? It's like never-ending. I mean, I know there's a judgment day, but you know what I mean. And you learn so much just from this. But in a lot of translations, they don't say herbs. I don't know if you can see how far. I really want you to see that part. See, I'm not pulling your leg over here. See? Herbs. And we explained to Noah all the medicines of their diseases, together with their seductions, how he might heal them with herbs of the earth. And so you'll see this displaced with medicines. So that can mean anything. You know what they mean by that. Pharmakia. Wink, wink. But I like this reference. You see how there's like Hebrew writing? So if you're learning Hebrew, I have like a little workbook of basics and stuff. I'm going to go get my pencils out and sharpen those, because you know you're going to make mistakes. But it's great to have like a drawing pad and like really, you know, a really cool pen, like a felt pen to do those letters. Because that's really fun. And, you know, of course, with Hebrew, you got to read from right to left. That's why a lot of us, they call us dyslexic. But intuitively, once upon a time, you know, we were probably reading the other way. Like, we're reading backwards now, right? Guess it's which way you look at it kind of thing. But this is a great reference, but you're not going to find it in just whatever, you know what I mean? You're not going to find it in whatever source. That's why I put that one up, because when I Googled it, right, it didn't come up the first page. I think it was like the third page. I'm like, oh, they're hiding this reference. Excuse me. And it's funny talking about this Roman pagan way. So you see, it's all a Roman religion. So if you're about the Most High in His ways, you have everything to stand on. And so all the other ones, it's like, okay, we know the Christians are all about this system. They don't care. They don't even care about their rights. So like, just go along to get along kind of people. They think, yeah, you have to have love. You have to have compassion. But that's not, you know, that love can be deceiving. The heart is wicked. Who can know it? So, I did a vid earlier with the hairspray, and I ended up putting Roman, since we're talking about Roman, I don't know if you can see that. Roman chamomile, essential oil, so good. And the word itself, you learn a lot. Chamomilium nobile, like noble. So, Roman means noble, like the nobles? Probably. So you learn a lot from the herbs if you get like a medicinal herb book. So fun, because it'll show you like the Latin words and the equivalent. So it helps you look at certain things differently too, especially if you're a nerd like me. You like reading your dictionary, you like really breaking it down. And like I said, if you only have anything, you know, hopefully you have a Bible. Like, I would hope so. If you need me to show you where the most important law is, you know, these churches don't care about the law. They're all about your personal testimonies and your feelings. And what, you know, they really get invasive and personal. That's why I'm like, it's not all about that. It's so subjective, you know. It has to be based on, because the Most High's truth doesn't sway. It's solid, you know. It's only, you know, you try to tell people, it's like, you know, I guess I really, you know, push someone's button. Well, I don't care, if, you know, because, you know, this world is so fickle. They like you today, they hate you tomorrow. You know, and I started off doing a lot of different, you know, I do tutorials. I just try to give practical solutions with what I'm comfortable with, you know. I got some more stuff I'm working on, but it takes you time. You got to meditate on it. You got to make sure your notes are together. I mean, you don't even know how many books I have and stuff. Like, just you don't even know, guys. You don't even know. Like, I got to make sense of this mess. You guys want to do my homework for me? It's just too much stuff. And I got this, I got this box in China. It's just all too much, guys. I got this package. I gotta go to the post office today. But before you start getting your law books and all that fun jazz, Don't mind me. I have my butt hurts on this chair, so I actually put a towel almost in. I'm like that short. I know. Just so the camera sees me properly. Isn't that crazy? And it's kind of cold too. But before you get like Black's Law Dictionary, of course, Ballantyne's really great. Oxford, if you can get, you know, an authentic Oxford or American Heritage Dictionary, yeah, do all that. But, you know, go to Exodus 20, get to the basics, you know, we read, and especially with the Sabbath, it's not these damn Saturdays. That's why I like listening to the Israelites, because they're on point, you know what I mean? I have it on my calendar. I think it's supposed to land again this week on Friday. That's why, you know, I like when they acknowledge it and stuff, because it keeps me on point. I'm putting in my, you know, because those days I think you're supposed to eat unleavened bread and stuff. And again, I'm not an expert. Sometimes I forget. Our memories are shot with all this stuff, right? And I'm trying to get my recourse too, and that's a damn full-time job. But I would be damned if I'm going to let them use me and my energy. They already did that way too much, that of my children, right? You know, so you use your God-given talent. A lot of us are really great. We have piano fingers. My son, he's so great with the piano. He got that from me. Like, some typing, da-da-da-da-da-da. So you do what you can with what you have, you know. If you can only do tutorials, whatever is in your lane, you know. And I do little stuff on the side because I don't get outside help, you know. And that's why studying the law and discharging all of these commercial presentments is so key, because we should all, you know, be getting land with 1099As. Like, realtors know what's going on. These agents know what's going on. They need to be honorable. You agents, you realtors, you financial people, if you won't take a 1099A, you're going to get your ass a conditional acceptance, and we're going to put you on blast, because you need to be honorable. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. The Most High don't want to hear that answer on Judgment Day either, right? Right. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Put them on blast. Say, I'm not going to support the satanic ritual system, this Roman system you got going, which is all of, you know, false gods, paying homages to wicked king and queens, tributaries. I will not be a tributary, you know. Don't mind me. This is my hot gun. I got a cellophane, some products here. I'm going to mail some out, so got my hands full over here, guys. I'm going to close out soon. Just wanted to show you that this is the law you want to stand on, that it is based on the Ten Commandments, that this, if you can only get one thing, this should be your law book. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when I didn't know any better and I wrote to, I've sent them like hundreds of packets already. You don't even know the past few years. So all I've been doing, I've been putting my head down, put my money where my mouth is. Sometimes I handwrite it. You get so vexed. You're like, you're a crook. You should be. Then you learn how to talk more. You know, you get like a smoothness about you. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. It's definitely, you know, it's definitely a fine art, as they say. It is a fine art. I'm still, you know, a little rough around the edges too. You know, I get really fired up. But as long as you could take pen to paper, that's what they did in the old days. I got my wax seals and all. Do whatever. If you only got a red ink stamp, use your thumbprint. You know, learn from who you can while you can. We're not promised tomorrow. You can do a huge difference, but make sure you help yourself. We all, you know, of course, help ourselves, take our own advice, do our work, and if we can share little bits of our story to encourage the other person, that's great. You know, I'm not getting paid for my time to come on here. This is just my contribution. I'm making my own atonement with the Most High. And like we all are doing, right? And we were born for this time. Like I said, I may not say it perfectly, but sometimes you don't have to, right? You can just feel it. They say it's a paradigm shift. We're sick of being slaves. We're sick of being treated demoralized. We're sick of being slandered, liable. All these things that people are doing. Just remember, you will be commercially liable, okay? You need to know the law, because when you start throwing stones at people who are trying to set people free, so to speak, in this so-called spiritual Egypt, it's going to come back and bite you hard, because nobody gets away with anything, right? You know, the scriptures say time and time again, everyone wants to give credit to karma. Now it's credit karma now. They have an actual credit karma. What a world. When we need to give credit to the Most High. Eye for an eye. He gives us what we all deserve. And if we use our time now to make amends, that's how he helps us. And it's a great feeling to know he is merciful. He is a righteous king, and not like these wicked kings that they want us to bend the knee to. Okay, so right here, it says the whole 10 commandments we already went to, but make sure the Sabbath, we really need to get the right Sabbath, especially the Gentiles. We're a little off course with the calendar. I try to keep it, I try to write it down. I try to remember, I look up videos how to make unleavened bread and stuff like that. It's really cool. I'm not great at it yet. I guess you got to poke holes in it. I'm not sure, because I've seen something like that. It looks pretty good like that, Use real olive oil. The Most High has amazing taste. Even the herbs, even the way he wants his food savory. When you read some of the ingredients, have you ever smelled frankincense too? Have you ever smelled myrrh? And you want some of that on the altar. You can just imagine the smell, right? He has amazing taste. He's just so awesome. You just got to get to know him. It's not about our personal testimony. It's not about our feelings. It's about being lawful. So we can at least start with the 10 commandments. Because that's what we were taught in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. People got away from that. Because when I put that video with my cousin, it wasn't to make a whole controversy. I'm not going to make another one like that again. That was just one thing. She's going to have a whole episodes over and over. That was just her first one. So she's going to be out there. I just wanted people to put people onto it. And with that character, Jenny Weaver, I had a hard time looking her up. I don't think she was incarcerated. I think a lot of her story, a lot of them are just characters, guys. The one that's like, she calls herself Jenny Weaver Worships. Check her out on YouTube. She does have a channel. And this is who my cousin's trying to be like. And I was listening to her jail story, and I'll have to just share just pieces of mine. Not too much. I didn't do anything crazy, because she's like, oh, I did heroin, I was this, I was that. Like, I didn't do drugs like that. It wasn't like that, right? So it's like, whatever, you know what I mean? I wasn't that much of a weirdo. But sometimes, you know how Christians are, they want like a ghouly ghoul story. Like, you should see how she explains things. It's like, it's so cringe sometimes with people like that. They like those kind of stories. My cousin used to just love people like the worse you were, the better, I don't know. Maybe it makes them feel better. I don't know. But I tried to see if there was any like official records. Maybe you've guys seen it. But the way she was describing her time in jail, it just didn't sound believable. Anybody who's ever been in there? That's how you can tell. And then I looked up, and there's other Jenny Weavers who were in jail, but there's like no pictures and stuff. So I'm like, did she take somebody's identity? Is that even her name? Is that even her real name, guys? I don't even know. There's so much acting on TV. Just keep your eyes out. Thank you so much. I'm going to close out soon. Remember, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Having fear. Because when they were talking, they were like, oh, Job had all those problems because it was fear that held him back. Because if you think it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So, if you think your children are going to die, then yeah, that's almost witchcraft thinking. They do everything in the power. It's all about the law of attraction. They use those principles, that psychology, which they say is the highest form of sorcery and witchcraft, is psychology. That's why they have all these young children taking it in these schools, and you're like, what the hell? Then they start acting really sinister and manipulative because they learned all that stuff there, right? That's why I advocate homeschool your children. My son learned how to play all that Mozart-like melodies he was playing in Beethoven. He was amazing, right? On his own. God gives you the talent, and it's what you do with it each and every day. And if you don't know anything, have a healthy fear of him. Just like having a healthy fear of your parents will keep you safe and out of trouble. And maybe if a lot of us had that growing up, we wouldn't have made the mistakes that we did. So I try to teach people that now, like, hey, I was kind of a goon growing up, this and this, not getting too much, because I'm not a bleeding heart like that. Some people are like, because they do it for the masses. Like, are you acting or what? Because sometimes when they're saying their stories, they don't even sound right, if you notice that. whatever, I'm probably going to lose another subscriber just talking too much. But have a healthy fear of the Lord. Yeah, you better be scared shitless, because he can do a lot to our souls after. He can snuff you out and make it like you were never, ever here. Just that thought alone should have you scared. Has me freaking scared. Has me in line all the time. But no, that's why this world is going through what they're going through, because they ain't scared of nothing. Right? They ain't scared of a damn thing. And they get all this stuff done, and they're like, oh, why did this happen to me? Why did God allow this to me? Like, you didn't even have any fear. You don't have any fear. What's in these injections or these treatments? They got more fear in man. They care what man has to say, right? They care what their friends have to say. And it's all about sharing each other's whatever. I mean, yeah, I don't like oversharing, right? Because that's how the elite, that's how they get each other too. Well, they do it a little differently because they blackmail each other and they use that information as leverage. So that's why standing in righteousness, cleaving to the Most High, cleaving to His real laws, that will be your refuge. That will be your defense. Okay? And when we step outside of those perimeters, just like a loving parent, fair but firm parent, we ask for it. That means we did it to ourselves because we were forewarned. We don't want to respect His laws. That's why so many problems in the world, right? Don't go chasing waterfalls, right? We think we know better than our Creator, just like children think they know better than their parents when their parents have been here longer. So just remember the Bill of Rights is definitely inspired by the Ten Commandments. Definitely got to start there. Stick with the Most High's law. It will help in your paperwork. Even when I didn't know too much laws, as long as you have biblical laws, they see that you're sincere. They see, you're not going to always get it on the first try. So it's okay. But having that perseverance, discipline is what makes people successful. Even more than talent sometimes. Because you really got to be disciplined. And when you get knocked down, you got to be able to get back up again, as they say, like in that song, right? It's like there's a song for everything, right? Because it's like the soundtrack of our lives. It's like everywhere you go, it's like they live. It's like we're living in the same dream together. They're trying to subliminally tell us, right? We get clues all over the place. I'll go into more law vids, just different type of topics. I put up that other vid, but yeah. So when you're going into some of these places and you want to defend yourself against, this participation in their religious program, you can say no. You are violating the Bill of Rights, and remember, federal law trumps state law. That's what I've been told. That's by my understanding. So no matter all these states, they're doing all these little games that they play. Federal law does trump it. So this is a contract. This is to limit government powers. This is to keep them in check. Okay? This is to keep the barbarians behind the wall, so to speak. So hopefully we can all learn a little something together. If not, there's other great vids out there, other great channels. Just at least make sure you have a good understanding. That's why I tell wicked people, you can learn all you want to learn, but you're going to sound like an idiot. Because if you don't have like a competent base, then like how smart do you sound? I mean, doesn't the Declaration of Independence, the preamble, even say that we were endowed with unalienable, unalienable, because they're always trying to lean us our rights. We have unalienable natural rights given by our Creator, not the government. Okay? Do I have to go into how you're not a 14th Amendment citizen? That was to put people back into peonage, right? Back into servitude, right? So these are things that happen. We need to sometimes we can get ahead of ourselves, go in different directions. So I like to go back to basics too, because if I'm going to talk about any type of law study. I'm not going to teach classes. I already told people I'm not filling out paperwork. Don't email me for none of that stuff. I give you little tools to nudge you in the right direction, okay? And you are to pray to the Most High, and He will send you where to go. So I appreciate your time. I'll talk to you soon. Stay blessed. Stay well. I wish love to you and all your families. And I'll be back soon with another video.